Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of Dr. B's Thursday Thoughts. We have a special show planned for this evening. We have college students with us this evening, and our topic is choosing a college major, and we are looking at it from the perspective of the college student. So, before we begin with introductions, I am just going to make sure that it's okay with everybody on the live stream right now, that it is okay that this is recorded and that it's going to be kept on Facebook and uploaded to the other social media streams. And you can give me your okay by giving me a thumbs up, please. All right, thank you very much. So we will start with my upper left. So we'll begin with you, Karen.
So, hi, my name is Karen Gilmore. I am an upcoming senior. I attended Xavier University of Louisiana, and my major is physics and mechanical engineering.
Okay, thank you. And then Tim.
My name is Timothy Kola. I go to ULL, University of Lafayette. And my major is civil engineering.
Thank you. Catherine.
Hi, my name is Catherine Ross. I go to Spelman College. I'm a upcoming second semester sophomore, and my major is psychology.
Thank you. Jalil. Oh, you're on mute.
Hi, my name is Jalil Lundy. I attend Tuskegee University. I'm an upcoming sophomore, and my major is animal science.
Thank you. And pronounce your name for me.
I'm Zoraida. I go to Grambling State University. I'm a criminal justice major. I'm a sophomore.
Thank you. Well, thanks everybody for being here. We certainly have a wide range of majors on with us this evening. So first, before we start talking about like your process of how you actually decided to choose your major, which we'll get to, I want to talk a little bit about what were your interests growing up as a child? What did you, like we used to say, what did you want to be when you grew up? And do they match what you actually chose as your college major? Anybody can jump in.
I'll start. I grew up doing track. At first, I wanted to be a track coach, but when I hit fourth grade, when I was in fourth grade, I decided that I wanted to be a lawyer. Due to many injustices I saw in my dad's case alone, I decided like I needed to be the person to actually want to help people. Most lawyers are just out here trying to make their money. And when you have someone's life in your hands, you're ripping them away from a whole lot. Like they ripped my dad away from his family and things like that. And it also takes a toll on people's mental state. And I want to actually help people get away from that. And I also want to be a civil rights lawyer. So with everything that's going on, I feel like I chose the right career.
Nice, very nice. Thank you. Somebody else.
Just to piggyback off of that, my major is physics and mechanical engineering, but I've always wanted to be into political science. I always wanted to be a lawyer. I always wanted to be in the government and go to Washington and be a lobbyist and things like that. But what really made me change my mind was my senior year of high school when President Trump was elected. So, but my interest growing up, I played sports. I literally tried my hand at every sports. I was on speech and debate. I did dance. I kind of tried everything.
Okay, thank you.
I'll go on my. What I wanted to be was like a race car driver, but that wasn't one of the things I was gonna be able to do. But I wanted to help people. Like I would like to sit in helping people, but I don't like dealing with people. So I use me liking cars and helping people, and I decided to do civil engineering. And so I wanted to help with this traffic issue in this world.
Nice.
I'll go. Growing up, I always wanted to be a pharmacist, like for as long as I can remember, till maybe sophomore year. Then I changed it to a digital forensics investigator. And then at the end of senior year, I was like, no, I want to be a forensic psychologist, just because people are like, I can actually talk to people and like try to see like their point of view and just make them feel okay and just be open with whatever they did.
Okay. Thank you. Jaleel?
Growing up, I always wanted to do something with animals, so I did something with animals. So like, yeah, I didn't really have like a changing. I just knew I wanted to work with animals.
So out of everybody that's spoken so far, like you were the one that has stuck with, like this is what you've wanted to do since you were a child and that is your major.
Yes.
All right, Joshua, thank you for joining us. So we just started with the first question, but if you could start out with introducing yourself, telling us your college and your major.
Okay. Hey, I'm Joshua. I go to LSU, and my major is performance arts, specifically in poetry. And I'm a sophomore.
You're a sophomore. And so the group was talking about, the question was, what were your interests growing up as a child, and does your college major match those interests?
Don't try to hit me, man. What you doing? Yeah. So growing up, it was mainly music for me. So music was my.
Uh-oh.
You might have lost connection.
Okay, all right. We're gonna come back to Joshua, so we're gonna go on to the next question. So the choice that you did make as major, was money a factor for anybody? I should say, the potential earning, was that a major factor or the only factor for anybody when you looked at choosing your major?
I'll go first.
You can go ahead.
For me, what my dad always told me was, if you don't like it, you should do something that you wouldn't be mind getting paid for. So that's why I chose my major, because it's something I like doing.
Okay.
Well, as a kid, it was because when I first was looking into being a lawyer, we had to do our whole sheet and our inspiration thing. And as a kid, all you're really thinking about is the money part. It's like, what is going to have me rich and living the life that you see everyone else living? But then when the stuff actually started happening with my dad and everything, that changed. It wasn't really about the money. It was a more of, I'm trying to see other people happy, because I have a very giving heart. So that's when it stopped becoming about the money. Like, I just want to see other people happy and with their families, and the innocent being seen as innocent instead of just people just throwing them in jail because it gives them a check.
So for me, I like my major, but money did play a part in my decision. One, I like to live a certain lifestyle, and that lifestyle required a certain amount of money to live. And then secondly, is it Zareta? So like she's saying, like, even though my major is not something, like, I like my major, I really do, but it's not my passion. I know that in order for me to move forward with my passions, because my career is not my end all. Like, I have a nonprofit that I'm gonna start. I have things that I want to give back to. I have things that I want to donate to, and I know that me being in a position to make a certain amount of money, that I'll be able to donate to causes like Zareta's, which I firmly believe in support. So money was a big factor in my decision.
Okay. And that's important. Anybody else want to chime in on that one?
When I was going down a path of like wanting to be a pharmacist, yeah, money was the only thing I cared about. And I was like, I knew some things about pharmacy, but not like in detail with it. So money played a huge part. But then when I started to get older and I realized that I actually wanted a job that I wanted to be passionate about and I just go for the money, that's when I found what I believe to be my calling. The money is great in that department too, but it was just finding my passion for me.
Good. I like that, finding your passion. Okay, next question. Now I want to find out the path or the process that you took. So it's time to decide on what college you're going to go to. Did you decide on your major like at the same time you were deciding on where you wanted to go to college? Like, did you look at that? Like, what colleges had the major you wanted? And what was the process that you actually took? Like, yes, I know I want to go be a veterinarian. I know I want to be a civil engineer. Walk the viewers, hopefully a lot of incoming freshmen will watch this video. Walk them through your thought patterns and the process that you personally took to actually declare your major at your college.
Okay, so Grambling was not my first choice. I will say that. Sorry, Dean Wade and President Gallo, if you're seeing this. But Clark was actually my top choice. But even with all the scholarships that I had, I would have still had to have came out a pretty little penny to be able to attend. And I would have been in a place that I wasn't familiar with. I mean, that's fine because I like to have new experiences and so I know how to get through it. But I also chose Grambling because of family and stuff. It really had nothing to do with my major because, I mean, I feel like I could have got a better pre-law educate. Well, I won't say better because I don't know how other people's schools are set up and stuff like that to be able to say that. But the criminal justice major at Grambling is really good. I've had some really challenging teachers. I mean, some of them, once the pandemic hit, were like vocabulary really. Didn't see how that would be able to help us, but professors like Lori Thomason and Sharonda Hatter, they're really good with making sure that you're prepared for your field, which no matter if it's a lawyer, or anything like that. But Grambling, my cousin actually went here and told me about their criminal justice program, and that's what made me look into it more because I actually had someone who was actually telling me who had experienced Grambling.
And so for me, after Trump got elected senior year, I knew for a fact that I wanted to attend an HBCU. So I applied to PWIs and I applied to HBCUs, but the HBCUs were the only ones that I was gonna take seriously. So everywhere I applied, I pretty much got into, and Xavier was not my first choice, but Xavier, I'm from New Orleans, so it's home. So that was one of the choices why I stayed, because I was gonna be close to my family, because we had just experienced something tragic and I didn't want to leave home because I didn't want to be away from my family after going through something like that. And then I'm in a 5-year program where I spend 3 years at Xavier and then 2 years at another school where I'll get 2 degrees at the end of 5 years. And other HBCUs weren't offering that option. So it would be the typical 4 years and you have 1 degree. And so that's how I made my decision to go to Xavier.
Okay.
When I was choosing for my college, I mean, when I chose my major, I first chose I chose civil engineering, but I didn't really care about the colleges I went to. But me running track, I have got scholarships from all over, and I had just to choose what college was gonna do the best for me, financially, money wise, and which one had the best program in my major.
For me, decided on what college I wanted to attend. I basically went after I chose my major. I searched who had the best program for my major, and then I wanted to go to HBCU. So when I found Tuskegee and I found out it was #1 ranked, that's how I made my decision.
My current major had absolutely nothing to do with the school that I'm at right now, because even on my application to get into Spelman, my major was computer science. So I thought I was really going to stick with computer science, and maybe like 2 weeks after I got on campus, I realized that I just didn't want to be a digital forensics investigator anymore. So I switched my major immediately to psychology so I could pursue forensic psychology. And regarding my college, I just knew I always wanted to go to Spelman.
Thank you. Okay, next question. And actually, a lot of you already answered the question about changing your major. Let's go to coursework. So many of you are sophomores or starting sophomore year, or I know, Karen, you're beginning your senior year journey. So now y'all have gotten a lot of the prereqs out of the way. Have you had any courses in your major, and have any of those courses like further motivated you, or have you gotten discouraged at times to say, oh no, I don't want to do this? Tell me a little bit about your coursework.
Well, Lori Thomason, because I'm going to the National Guard in September, I will be returning back to school. So I decided to take extra courses now so that I could be ahead of my class, kinda. So when I got back, since it'll be mid-February, I wouldn't have to take as many courses. But I have Lori Thomason, and he humbled me majorly. I will say that. Before I even got in his class, it was like kind of a struggle getting in because it was his first time doing the online course. So he had basically told me at first, since I was going to be late getting in, he said, drop this course, he said, because it's going to be a struggle. But I stuck it through. I ended up getting in on time. But all his work, I had to do a report for the first time on a college level that wasn't a book report, research and understanding a lot of different things that I wasn't used to. I would say that his class was great to take, and I would highly recommend it for people. But if you're not willing to work, and I wouldn't have done it, because he is really a humbling teacher. He will, even the smartest person could get in that class and he'll show you, oh, you thought so? Well, I'm here, because he's actually been to around the world in different programs and gotten people to law school and have people who have become lawyers. But yes, that is really a humbling man that made me say, oh, I don't know if I could do this lawyer stuff at first. I said, I'm just going to have to stick with my minor in business, because I don't know if I can do this. But he taught me that I'm stronger than I think, and I could really do a lot.
Okay. Somebody else?
So for me, a lot of my teachers are like that. In my major, I feel like my teachers are so smart that they're not able to dumb things down at a level that someone who has never seen the material before can understand it. But I take it as a challenge. And that's why I know that like I like my major, because I've taken like other coursework just for fun. Like, okay, I'm gonna take a class for this, I'm gonna take a class for that. And I excelled easily. And once it gets too easy, I get bored. So I like the fact that my professors and my coursework challenges me, because I feel like I'm growing. I feel like I'm learning. I feel like I'm being prepared for the workforce.
Thank you.
Um, I only took one class for my major, but that one class we were like very hands-on with everything we was doing. So I felt like I really wanted to do this for this major. And I want to be real hands-on with my major.
Good. Okay, let's go on to the next question. Does anybody have a mentor, any of your professors in your field, or anybody you know that works in the profession that you want to work in? And how has that mentor help shape who you want to be for, who you want to be in your profession? Does anybody have a mentor?
I do have a mentor. Well, I have multiple mentors. But the first one was Dr. A, and he is from LSU in the enrollment side of it. And he just basically taught to go get what you want. Because in school it's kind of like go and learn this. Here it is in the book. This is the chapter. He's like, if you actually want to know something in life, you got to go get it yourself. So just to go get it mentality from my mentors. Mentors are like essential. So yeah, I definitely say that.
I have a mentor as well, Demirical Woodson, and she works at Xavier. But she's not faculty in my major. Like, she has nothing to do with my major. She's more of that person that I go to. I call her my at school mom. So like, she does my mental check. She makes sure that my mental health is okay. She's always checking up on me. She's like that support, that backbone that I have when I'm at school and not at home. And because she doesn't do that type of work at Xavier, but she was previously in my field in the workforce. And so she's always motivating and guiding me.
Yes. And yes, even if you have a mentor that's not in your major, or somebody, your go-to person, if you don't, I would really encourage you to get one, because mentors are so important to have. I had the same mentor in undergrad, grad school, and he stayed my mentor while I started teaching and was an administrator, until he decided to move to California and run the California university system. But it's really, really, really important to have a mentor. So start to look out for those people. Those people are people that you can bounce ideas off of, somebody that's not going to be there to criticize you. I'm sure Karen and Joshua can attest to that. And Tim, like, they're gonna push you. They're gonna push you to be your best self. Okay, so next question. Anybody famous that you aspire to be in your field, or have you looked up people that have contributed to your field? If you're going to grad school, which I know everybody on this call is, it's really important that you know those people who have contributed to your field. So have you started to research any people that have been influential to your field yet?
Okay, so I had an internship where I worked with lithium ion batteries. And so it like opened up my perspective of the things that I can do. And Teslas are ran off of lithium ion batteries. So I really love Elon Musk. I know that he makes a lot of noise in media and a lot of people don't like him. But I like him for the fact that he has a very innovative company right now, and the only reason why people don't like him is because he is him. And I'm all for like embracing who you are, especially with all of us being African American or just being Black in the workforce. You know, we have this thing where we code switch and how we want to appeal to fit in, and I just like the fact that he is who he is while still being able to succeed at his job.
Nice.
So I love Elon Musk.
Nice. So let me just tie in for a minute the last two questions about the mentor and somebody in your field that you aspire to be. So now that you are in college, if you haven't already done so, because I know everybody on here has an Instagram page, but you also need to start to set up your LinkedIn page. And once you set up your LinkedIn page, then you want to start to connect with individuals that are in your field. Every person that I have reached out to in LinkedIn, and I've been in education forever, they have like, yes, let's connect. Let's, you know, sure, I'll talk to you about that. And so if they are willing to talk to me, and I've been in my profession 25 years, they are going to be more than willing to talk to a college student who is majoring in their field, and those connections are going to be invaluable, and you may find yourself connecting with that person and they may be offering you an internship or a job at their companies one day. So that's just a little piece of advice I just want to leave with you while we're talking about mentors and people that you're looking up to. Go and set up that LinkedIn page and make those connections to people in your field. Okay, it is 7:30 and we are coming down to the last question. So I could not let this moment pass, this moment for us in history pass without talking about the resurgence of the Black Lives Matter movement. So of course, you know, like everything that has been happening, and then just with the brutal murders happening just back to back to back. Now people are saying like, this is enough. Black lives do matter. So as a college student, and this is actually going to be an upcoming segment for Dr. B's Thursday Thoughts, but as a college student, I was wondering, hi Deja. Hi, we are actually on the last question, but before I get to the question, I'm just gonna ask you to introduce yourself, your college and your major.
Hi, I'm Deja McLendon. I attend Tulane University and my major is digital design.
Thank you. So we've talked a lot about why people have chosen their majors and the process that everybody took looking into your major and how you actually chose it. And then we just talked a little bit about why having a mentor is important. And so my last question is, of course, like the Black Lives Matter movement has affected all of us. have you begun to think about any difference like you're going to make in your profession in terms of Black Lives Matter? And a lot of you, I think almost everybody, you've named professions that Black people are not in. So you've named professions that African Americans typically do not go in. Like, have you thought about, when I make it, am I gonna do X, Y, and Z? Has this affected you at all? I just like to hear your thoughts about it. Anybody can chime in.
Well, being a digital design major, it's not a lot of Black people like within the major. So I always say, like, if I was to ever be CEO of a company, I would make sure I hire a lot of Black people. There's like freelancers, but especially at Tulane University, it's not that many of us. So I always say, like, I want to incorporate my culture into like the companies and stuff. So
Same. One of my goals is to one day own my own engineering firm, and that's a firm that I'm going to partner with other African American females who are different engineer majors, and it's really all about that opportunity. And I'm also in a male-dominated field, a white male-dominated field, and just the fact that I'm getting my education and I know that I'm going to be able to apply for jobs and be able to even get the jobs in this field, it just means a lot. And so I'm definitely like pro Black Lives Matter. I'm just pro Black all around. And so you say that you're in education, and I have a passion for kids in education. And so there's this program that I volunteer at called STEM NOLA in the city. And I believe in everything that they stand for. And one day I hope to have my own STEM NOLA. So just being, like Tyler Perry mentioned it in a speech that he had, so just having a seat at the table so that we can create our own tables in different spaces and have different opportunities, that's the most important.
Piggybacking off of what what the lady said, I eventually want to have my own practice. I really do have a business mindset. That's why I'm minoring in business, because I do have a lot of business ideas, and it's all about putting others on in our community, because we have a lot of Black role models in different fields who have gotten their opportunity but didn't really drag anyone else along with them, which is kind of sad in my opinion, especially after doing a lot of research on stuff like this. But there are some top lawyers for Black women especially, but they're mostly known in their own state. So my hope is to eventually be known on a national level. I mean, I know it's going to take a lot of work to get there, but the ultimate dream for anyone should be putting on other people, so in your own community, so we can all elevate. We got to be the change that we want to see.
Absolutely. Anybody else?
I'll go. So since I want to be a forensic psychologist, like if you look that up, all you're going to see is white males. And even though I go to HBCU, there's maybe roughly 200, 300 psychology majors, and out of all of them, there's only maybe 2 to 5 forensic psychology like that wants to be a forensic psychologist. So I just, want to make an impact, and I want to try to go to the highest level I can. So like right now, the goal is to start with like a police department or somewhere like that, and then eventually go to the FBI, because most the most violent criminals the FBI deals with, and they don't really get a fair chance, especially Black people, because they are labeled as something that most Black people aren't. So, for example, there's a lot of innocent people that are probably facing death row for crimes they did not commit. So I just want to help with that too.
Yeah, absolutely.
My grandfather wanted me to tell you guys that he enjoyed listening to all of y'all. He said he wished he had the opportunity to be like us when he was younger.
Thank you, sir. Yes, they are amazing.
I worked out. I had about 2 to go to school, sit back and listen, and I could learn a whole.
He came up during the era where it was.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was more get on the labor stuff. He actually built this house that we're in right now. So
Wow.
don't mind him.
Okay, everybody. Well, that is it for this week's edition of Thursday Thoughts. Thank you all so much for being on. And yes, I echo your grandfather. Like you all are an amazing group of college students, just looking at what you are majoring in and the profession that you want to go in. I know that you are going to make an amazing difference, not only within your profession, but within your community. So thanks again. And please share this video so that this can be impactful for incoming freshmen looking to choose their major as they enter school fall of 2020. Y'all have a good evening. Thank you.